Hey everybody, my name's Jay Scott. I'm the founder of 120 VC. I'm here today to talk to you about the qualities of a good promise. Public, active, voluntary, explicit, and mission-based. P.A.V.E.M. So public, often people think when I say that I mean if somebody gives a commitment in the public, they don't want to look bad, so they're much more likely to live up to it. No, shame is not an option. Shame has no place in the workplace. I'm talking about the anchoring mechanism in our heads. So I want you guys to remember back to a time where you were in a meeting and somebody tricked you into saying, yes, I will. I mean, that's why you get invited to meetings. So really, you shouldn't be surprised if somebody tricks you into saying, yes, I will. You say, yes, I will. And then you leave. And for some weird reason, you don't immediately open up your smartphone, find the next available white space and block time to accomplish the yes, I will, because we carry these around. 2 days later, you're walking down the hallway, you look up and you see their smiling face. And the first thing that happens in your mind is, oh my God, 2 days ago, I totally told them I would do that thing. Now, sadly, we've become really good at addressing this situation. We look up, we smile, and we're like, hey, Mina. Mina's like, hi, Jay. And I'm like, you know that thing I told you I'd do 2 days ago? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I've got time blocked this afternoon to handle it. She's like, thanks, Jay. You'll have it first thing tomorrow morning. She's like, cool. Bye, Mina. She walks off and around the corner, and I pick up my smartphone. I look at my afternoon, I clear it, and I block time to do the thing that I said I was going to do for Mina, right? So the reason that public commitments are better is because if I made a commitment to do something in front of Andrew, Mina, Wyatt, like Jim, Wynn, and Anthony, there's a much higher degree of likelihood that I'm going to run into one of you in another meeting before 2 days from now. Right? So the idea is that, let's say I make a commitment in one meeting, I go to the next meeting, I don't see any of you. I go to the next meeting and I run into Anthony and I see Anthony. What happens immediately is just Anthony's smile reminds me that I made a commitment to Andrew. And in that moment, I pick up my smartphone, I find the next available white space, and I block time to do the thing for Andrew. So that's why public is important. Active, I just covered active listening on the last slide, so I'm not going to cover it. Voluntary. If no is not an option, you can't count on yes. I think I've covered this fairly extensively through the talk so far, so I'm not going to go much deeper into this, but if no is not an option, you can't count on yes, and I find myself in my career going for the no. And if I get a yes, it's a good yes. If I get a no, it's a great no, because it gives me choice. Explicit, who, what, by, when. So I teach this. And I've been teaching this for years. And somewhere in the last 2 years, I had my dad over for dinner. And before dinner, we always start a fire in the backyard in a fire pit. It's not weird. In a fire pit. And we do s'mores before dinner. So we're sitting there making our s'mores. And my dad looks at me and he's like, Jay, I still have that firewood in the back of my rig from the last time we went camping. We should go get it. And I was like, yes, we should. We finished our s'mores. We finished dinner. He goes home with the wood in the back of his truck. A couple weeks later, he's over. We're doing the s'mores. Triggers it, the anchoring mechanism in his brain is like, oh, Jay, the firewood is still in the back of my truck. We should go get it. I'm like, yes, we should. We finished our s'mores. We finished dinner. He goes home with the wood in the back of his truck. A couple weeks later, same scenario. But when he says we should go get it, and I must have taught this that day, I was like, oh, I know what's happening. So I looked at him and I was like, hey, Dad, would you mind getting it? He was like, yeah, no problem. And he walks off. So if I were to reflect on what was happening, he's thinking, I'll go get it because I do the s'mores and I need the firewood. I'm thinking he'll go get it because he's offering and it's in the back of his truck. And because I didn't have an explicit commitment, nobody got it until what? I got an explicit commitment. And it was as simple as saying, hey, would you mind grabbing it? No problem. So moving on to mission-based. I always ask people after I ask them how they would go about it or what their immediate next steps are, how they see this creating value, the why. Like, why are we doing this? And that really is that's really for two reasons. One, so often in my career have I seen people doing things because it was required, which means they don't understand the value that is meant to be achieved by the exercise, which also then means that there is a high degree of likelihood that they will not achieve that value. Two, it also means that I have not set them up for success. If they don't understand why they're doing it, they can't solve problems, right? So whatever approach that I've helped them come up with, if they don't understand the why, the second they run into an obstacle, they have to come running back to me. I've not enabled them. So it's really important that we get alignment, not just on their immediate next steps or what it is that we're doing, but also why are we doing it, so they can actually use their brain to solve problems to ensure we get the shared outcome that we need. So that's P.A.V.E.M, Qualities of a Good Promise. All right, you guys, thank you very much. Do my high five.